In honor of her and her decision, I brought my big white blankie, and I'm just going to do the show with my own big white blankie today. Is my emotional support. I'm just going to hold on to it. I'm going to hold my blankie, and this is going to get me through the next 27 minutes of interviewing from Dana Bash, and also for potential maybe even 8 years as commander-in-chief and leader of the free world. This is absurd. She did show up with her blankie, her emotional support governor, and he did, if it's possible, even more poorly than she did. All right, we're going to get to all of it. I'm sorry, Dana Bash. I'm disappointed. I actually like Dana Bash. She's tough to dislike. She's a nice person. And honestly, she's a real journalist. She really is. She's not like some of these other hacks. But she fell down on the job last night. There's no question. And my overall take, can I tell you, is that this is what happens when you have a meek person interviewed by a meek journalist. That's what we saw. I don't wish to personally offend her, but that's what I saw. She didn't have the stones to really press Kamala Harris, and I think that's because she knew Kamala Harris couldn't take it. So she went very gently with her, and as a result, we didn't get Kamala Harris really pressed on any answers. And we didn't see her in any uncomfortable position, which is your job. As a journalist in that kind of a setting, when you are the only one to get an interview with the person who could be the next president of the United States, and you go soft on her, you've failed us. You've failed the profession and the country. And that's, of course, why she was selected. Kamala Harris knew very well she could not take a tough interviewer. Her team knew she could not take a tough interviewer. And it's interesting to me, again, with all due respect to Dana Bash, that they went with Dana instead of Jake Tapper. Because when you're thinking about which of those pair to take, they did the presidential debate between Biden and Trump together. Why would you go with her? Oh, is it a female thing? No. Because since that debate, Tapper has actually obviously been trying to be more middle of the road. We all know what happened during the Trump years. Let's not go back over it. And so I think he would have felt a greater obligation to try to press her. But Dana Bash did not. And while there were a couple of instances where she pushed for an answer to the question, there was so much more that could have and should have been done that led us feeling completely empty. That's the overall take I have. It was empty calories. CNN promised us that this interview was going to, quote, present Harris with the first chance to elucidate her position on various domestic and foreign issues. It did anything but. It wasn't even 30 minutes long, and she wasn't alone. Again, she had her big white blankie. There, he was there, just in case. And he did try to actually help her out, at least once at the top. Tried to claim he'd been saying something that was in defense of her. We'll get to that. But she struggled with the very first question, which is the most obvious question ever. They all ask, what would you do on day one? Literally everyone asks that. That is the most predictable question she's ever going to get. And she flubbed it. I don't know what she said. We'll get to it. Then she continued to gaslight on her border policies. The fracking answer, that even earned her a very gentle Daniel Dale CNN fact check. This guy is rabid. He's frothing at the mouth to go after Donald Trump on his little fact checks. This one was like, well, some might think that she didn't quite answer honestly. And then there's Governor Tim Walz, the Blankie, who claimed his lies about his own military record and service amount to poor grammar. It was poor grammar, you see, and just too much passion. He's so passionate, he must lie. Literally unbelievable. It was literally unbelievable. All right, so let's go through it. I've got her speech, I've got my notes, and I want to talk to you about it all. I've got some sound bites cut for you. This is my overall take. She said nothing. She rambled incoherently with a bunch of drivel about a new way forward, an opportunity economy, and turning the page without saying anything. And the whole time I watched her, all I could think about was this scene. Do you guys remember this scene? I'm sure you've seen When Harry Met Sally. Great film. And at the end of that movie-ish, toward the end, they're playing the game of Pictionary. And Meg Ryan's character is up there drawing, and you've got Bruno Kirby and Billy Crystal and the other cast members sitting on a couch trying to guess what she is trying to communicate. Watch.
It's a monkey. It's a monkey. A monkey see, monkey do. It's an ape. Going ape.
It's a baby.
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes? You just said it's a baby. How about Planet of the Dopes?
It doesn't look like a baby.
A big mouth. Mick Jagger is a baby.
Baby ape. Baby ape.
Stop with the apes, would you please?
Baby's breath.
Baby. Rosemary's baby's mouth.
Baby.
Won't you come home, Bill Baby?
Baby kiss the baby.
Melancholy baby's mouth.
Baby fish. Baby fish mouth.
Ethel
Baby
Merman.
fish mouth.
15 seconds.
A big baby mouth.
Baby boom.
Baby.
Draw something resembling anything.
That was it. Say something resembling anything. This is how I felt. What are you saying? You're incomprehensible. I mean, she was perfectly on brand in that way, but it also looked very much like she had been coached to try to keep her demeanor very flat, very even-keeled. I am a serious person. I am not a giggler. I have no cackle. I have no personality. I am a sober, serious person, notwithstanding the many years you have seen me make an absolute ass out of myself. Even when asked about my grandniece's moment of admiring me, I will remain sober and serious. I'll start with that one just to show you what I'm talking about. Let's play that one when she was asked about how wonderful it is that she's a role model when it comes to gender and race, and the little grandniece who's photographed looking at her.
The photograph that has gone viral. You were speaking, one of your grandnieces that you were just talking about was watching you accept the nomination. You didn't explicitly talk about gender or race in your speech, but it obviously means a lot to a lot of people, and that viral picture really says it. What does it mean to you?
You know, I am running because I believe that I am the best person to do this job at this moment, for all Americans, regardless of race and gender. But I did see that photograph, and I was deeply touched by it. And you're right, it's the back of her head, her two little braids, and then I'm in the front of the photograph, obviously speaking. And it's very humbling. It's very humbling in many ways.
It's very humbling. It's very humbling. Very humbling. With no smile. Very humbling. Clearly somebody has coached her to try to act more stoic. And it is just that. It is an obvious act. And it was painfully clear. We've seen her. She's not an unknown. We've been watching her for years now, right? And even the way she answered that question, it was indicative of how she answered almost all of them. The forensic diagnosis of what we're looking at in that picture, right? It was like, and she is looking at me, and I am on the stage speaking. Obviously speaking. Okay, it's exactly what happened in front of the airplane the other day. What's next? Madam Vice President, I am going to go up these stairs. Like that's the way her mind works. Small ball. There's no grand thinking. There's no deep thinking. There may not be much thinking at all. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.